Hello, hello, hi, gigpreneur. What is going on? Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. My name is Sean Azimi, a well, ex-corporate guy. Used to work in call center environment for many, many years, putting in 12, 14-hour day shifts and working 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, as as it would happen. And until my pancreas quit on me, left me unemployable, can't get a job, and with nothing to fall back on. I say this every night. It sucked, and now I got redirected to this whole online space and this whole gig economy, and now I help folks just like you and just like me to start a side gig online and grow it using social media. If that resonates with you, drop the word me in the comments, and let's go. Let's get chatting. Let's see what's up, and I'll get back with you after this live. Let's talk about tonight's live. You guys know I love animals, birds, and I love to kind of learn from them because I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in everything that God's made, and we just need to look deeper, closer, and that we can learn a lot. For example, tonight, lobster. Yeah, lobster. The one that is pretty now. Some of you, the vegans, vegetarians, are gonna flip out on me, but lobster does sound very good with steak. I like mine rare, medium rare. How do you like your steak? I digress. Drop it in the comments. How do you eat your steak? I digress. But lobster can teach us a couple things. Well, we're going to focus on one of the two, but this is really interesting. So, lobster, being the mushy, squeezy, tasty meat, if you would, it has this harder shell, right? That it protects it. Well, the interesting about the shell of a lobster is that it doesn't change in size. So when the lobster is small, what happens to the shell? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's what happens. The lobster, when it outgrows its original shell, what it does, it kind of goes, finds a rock, hides under a rock to protect itself, and it breaks out of that shell. And it waits until another shell is formed around it to its size. Then it comes out of the rock, lives its life. If it's not caught, eventually that shell is going to run too tight. You guessed it. It's going to go right under a rock, hide himself, protect itself, and break out of that shell and regrow another one that it fits its new size. Comes out, does its thing. Eventually, that's gonna be too small, and it repeats it until, right. What a great thing to learn about growth from lobsters, right? Now, a couple of things here. We talked about the eagle a few nights ago and how they do that at 40 years of age. But the interesting about lobster is that the point where it needs to get a new shell, if you would, that's that is inspired by discomfort, by extreme discomfort. When it gets so uncomfortable with that shell that it needs to break out of it, it has to break out of it, otherwise it won't survive. It has to break out of that shell because it's so uncomfortable. And it repeats itself if it needs to. If it outgrows that shell and it becomes really uncomfortable, painful again, does it again. In fact, it does it as many times as it takes. Now let's bring it to us. When it gets when it gets uncomfortable for you and I, what do we do? Do we break out of that shell and say, yeah, I'm going to fight you, depression. I'm going to fight you, anxiety. I'm going to fight you, malfunction of the pancreas. I'm going to fight you, all this stuff. And, or do we kind of just collapse? And then another question is, let's say you get out of it and you're like, yeah, I'm going to make it. I'm going to go to the top. And then you go and then boom, it gets uncomfortable again. Now what do you do? Are you willing to go through it again? Some of us get exhausted going through it again, don't we? Some of us go under that rock and hide, but don't ever break out of our shells. Or simply sit there, give in to where discomfort becomes comfortable, just like I'm used to it. I'm asking you to model a lobster for your growth. And when it's getting strict, tight, things are just, it feels like walls are coming in. Believe you me, I have been there multiple times. Some of you know my story. Some of you are brand new to my channel. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully, if it's your first time, it won't be your last time, right? But since some of you know my story, I've been through a bunch of different things. I know exactly how it feels when those walls start to come in. The noises in your head, the thoughts, the anxiety, the worries. I'm no stranger to all that. But one thing I haven't done, I haven't just sat there. Now, sometimes I feel like I'm exhausted. I need to just, and this time around, it was the longest time for me that I've ever done that. But sometimes it is what it is, right? But I'm asking you to model a lobster for your growth. When it gets uncomfortable, if you're new to my lives, you're going to hear this for the first time. If you're a vet, you've heard this many, many times. And that is, we don't get restricted, we get redirected. So when things are getting tight, when things are getting really, really unbearable, uncomfortable, that's the sign that you are being redirected and you're about to go through some major growth, whether you like it or you don't. Now, what you get out of that growth is up to you, but you're going to go through it. So the next time things get tight, rough, hard, I want you to think this. You're not getting restricted. You're getting redirected. Be open to the redirection, especially if it's way out of your comfort zone, right? Because sometimes that's what it takes. So with that, hopefully you got some love, some inspiration, some value. I appreciate you. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let this feed grow. And if you're not following me, come on, let's go already. You can follow me on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Threads. And I go with Side Gig Sean. If you feel like this is worthy of sharing, you know somebody who can get value from this, don't be stingy now. Let's go. Tag them to it, to this, share this with them. And I am Sean Azimi. I'm somebody who was the corporate guy. I used to work in a call center environment many, many years, putting in 12, 14-hour shifts in a day, working 6 days a week, often 7 days a week, until my pancreas quit on me, left me unemployable, can't even get a job, and with nothing to fall back on. And that sucked. And I got redirected to the online space, and now I help you, and I help me to start a side gig online, and we grow it using social media. If that resonates with you, drop the word side gig in the comments. I'll get back with you after this live. With that, I'm signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.